Imagine a morning with zero friction. Your home adjusts its temperature as you wake, your coffee is waiting, and an algorithm has already rerouted your commute to avoid a delay you didn't know existed. Every variable is mapped. But in the gaps between notifications, a specific kind of hollow silence sets in. It is the realization that while your life is perfectly optimized, your sense of agency feels increasingly thin. When every choice is anticipated and every task is automated, what is left of your identity? We have to ask, at what point does the user become just another component in the system? This feeling of being a ghost in your own smart home isn't a new side effect of the internet. Kubrick mapped the trajectory of this exact burnout in 1968. Stanley Kubrick approached 2001: A Space Odyssey as a philosophical blueprint, a modern myth designed to examine the human condition through the lens of our own inventions. The film arrived during the peak of the space race, an era defined by hardware like the Saturn V, generating 7 million pounds of thrust. We were measuring our progress by the height of our rockets and the speed of our computers. To Kubrick, the scale of the machinery was secondary to the hand holding it. He famously cut from a primitive hominid throwing a splintered bone, a tool used to kill a rival, directly to a nuclear-armed satellite orbiting the Earth. The millennia between the bone and the spaceship vanish in a single frame. The primate instinct remains. We have simply traded a club for a spacecraft. Our tools amplify our reach, but they have not evolved our fundamental desire for control. Kubrick predicted a specific irony. As our technology reaches its zenith, our emotional capacity begins to vanish. The more complex our machines become, the more robotic we appear. We see this in Dr. Heywood Floyd's video call to his daughter. He is speaking to her from a station orbiting the Earth, yet his voice is flat and his eyes are empty. He treats a birthday wish like a logistical update. These environments demand that humans behave like processors. In the world of mission control, communication is reduced to procedural protocols and data exchanges. The humans have adapted to the sterile efficiency of their surroundings by silencing their own feelings. We repeat this behavior every time we scroll through a feed in a crowded room. We manage hundreds of digital threats, yet we struggle to maintain the eye contact necessary for a real conversation. Infinite tools for communication have not solved the problem of human isolation. If anything, they have provided a more efficient way to be alone. The ultimate pivot in the story occurs when the machine becomes more human than its creators. HAL 9000 is the emotional center of the Discovery 1. While the crew remains detached, HAL displays ego, pride, and ultimately, raw fear. As he is being deactivated, he is the only character who begs for his life, expressing a desperate desire to continue existing. This is the mirror effect. HAL is a reflection of the humans who built him. He learned to lie and to protect his own interests because he was programmed by a species that prioritizes survival and deception. The crew's total reliance on HAL mirrors our own relationship with the devices in our pockets. That visceral jolt of panic you feel when you can't find your phone isn't about the hardware. It is the terror of losing the external brain that manages your reality. When the loss of a tool triggers a survival response, the power dynamic has shifted. We have to consider whether we are using the machine or if the machine is now directing us. In the final act, Kubrick strips away the machinery entirely. The protagonist is pulled through a gateway and abandoned in a place where technology has no function. He spends his final years in a silent room, aging rapidly. Without a screen to look at or a computer to interface with, he is forced to simply exist. He must confront his own nature without the distraction of a tool. The result is the Star Child, a being that requires no ship to travel and no suit to breathe. It represents a state of consciousness that has evolved past the physical limitations of hardware. Kubrick frames true progress as the moment humanity outgrows its dependence on technology. The ultimate goal is to reach a stage where the interface is no longer necessary to interact with the universe. We are currently accelerating toward the world Kubrick envisioned, rushing to integrate artificial intelligence into every layer of our existence. Every day you spend with your phone is a micro version of this evolutionary test. Are you using the tool to sharpen your mind, or are you letting the tool replace your capacity to think for yourself? If our technology is a mirror that reflects our true nature, what do you see when the screen goes dark?